What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome. My shit looks crazy. Fuck that all up. Welcome to Saw Sports TV. If you're not familiar with Saw Sports TV, Saw Sports TV is a Houston, Texas Homer network. We're talking all teams, but only Houston, all sports, but only Houston. But not the Texans. The Texans are not welcome here. They have their own domain on Saw Sports, the other Sauce channel. So pardon me while I'm fucking things up in the background. There we go. That looks a little bit less fucked up. There we go. Oh, no, there we go. All right. And again, I'm your host, Ed Honcho, and I'm joined by Mr. Saw Sports TV himself. Who do we have joining us this evening, afternoon, well, however you view it? guess it helps if I put my headphones on so I actually can hear better, right? Okay. There we go. Players fuck up. It happens. It's not going through the audio. It's not going through Vector. Okay, hold on 1 second. I thought it was my headphone. Give me 1 moment. Let's see what's happening with Mr. Hector here. Let's see where we're at. I can hear you, but it sounds really, really low, actually. Let me see. And let me see what I got going on here. Say something there. Yeah, I can hear you, but it's like really, really, really low. Let me see what's going on. Hold on, let me turn down my end. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Like I said, I was just hearing you really well, and then for some reason now it sounds really low. Like I can hear you, but like I said, yeah, it's still very, very low. No, I don't. Let me see. Like I said, if I turn you up here, like I say, but I don't. It's not going to impact the way they hear you. It's only on my end through my headphones. Yeah. Well, while we're figuring this out, you guys hit that like button. It's always welcome. Let's see if there's anything over here. No. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Y'all can't hear it all. Like I said, I can hear it, but it's very, very low. But y'all can't hear it all. Like I said, you want to show something, the thing it doesn't show. That little audio meter thing. Give me just a moment, and I'll put y'all on this little on the little waiting screen for just a second, and then we will. I was like, now I can hear real loud, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear, absolutely.
All it took was to use the headphones.
Yeah, it's real loud now. Okay. All right. Well, I forgot where we were. Okay. Cool. Don't blame it on my location. Real talk. It has nothing to do with anything, although it does have something to do with some things. But like I said, we got Mr. Saucy Sports TV joining us this evening. Who do we have in the mix this afternoon?
You got your boy Hector Flores, aka Mr. Saucy Sports TV. I think you guys just saw Robo, so he'll be appearing himself as well. And also, obviously, I'm trying some new things out. Just got a PC, and also, obviously, you see me the webcam. So no more phone.
Okay, cool. Well, that's what's up. Yeah, that's always a very fun venture dealing with the PC. Get very creative. Shout out to Robo. Scotty wasn't here, but I had to remove him. He was fucking up the green screen, so he had to go. He was plopping his fat ass all over the place. I couldn't handle it. I had to kick him out. But we're going to talk about a few things today. And it's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream that I know some of you guys may be used to. I apologize for that. But I want to talk about mainly, the way the image of the national media paints the city of Houston. And, we talk about this often, but it's almost to the point where this is no longer like speculation. This is no longer a situation where it's, oh, you guys are just mad because you lost this or whatever it is. And the reason why I say that is because you can talk about a team like the Astros who have recently won a championship and have been, competitive. So it's not like, you're complaining about that, but you had a situation, I know, with the Yankees and the Astros. We're going to talk about that. But I look at, like, the narrative behind Harden, it has been what it is. But even the narrative that changed, like, everybody loved Westbrook. It seemed like, the national media when he was in Oklahoma City, the triple-double average and that type of shit, everybody loved that. But then it's like when it comes to Houston, the narrative changes, right? Again, when you look at a guy like James Harden, and the only team that has been able to stop, if there was no Golden State team, James Harden may be in that conversation as one of the best ever, because that was the only team that stopped him for a few years. But the narrative of what he had to deal with compared to like Steph when a couple of guys got hurt, just it's always downplaying Houston, especially when Chris Broussard's involved. I hate Chris Broussard. I don't like to use the word hate a lot, but I think he is a professional hater.
You're not part of the Brew Crew?
No, not with it. Not with it at all. He's a fucking, looks like Red Fox's illegitimate stepchild. Yes, I said illegitimate stepchild. But it's just some weird shit going on. But anyway, like I said, but it's like there's this narrative to be negative on anything related to Houston sports. And the reason why I say those two teams, and I'm sure people say, well, yeah, you can say that about the Texans, but the Texans aren't ever they haven't really been in contention for anything. You know what I mean? Like the Astros have won it, they went back, and then you have the Rockets, like I said, getting to the point where the only team that they struggled with, really over the past few years was the fucking Golden State Warriors. And again, to many that was one of the greatest teams of all time. So, it is what it is. We can talk about how it happened and how awkward it was, but again, the Rockets weren't even supposed to have a chance in some of these games, but yet, proved a lot of people wrong. But I'm saying all this to say, should the narrative of the city of Houston change? Should we move away from trying to embrace, because I think Houston's a pretty friendly city. It's a blue collar city. It's like, hey, don't fuck with us, we don't fuck with you, but we're friendly. Southern hospitality. All of those things that are there. We're actually is the most diverse city in America, something like that. I know we were at one point. I don't know if that's changed or anything, but so it's like Houston's a pretty cool place, but it just seems like, say, nationally, it gets shit on. There's no, I don't know, maybe there's just this, again, people think we ride horses, we saw the protests, people pull up on horses. I think that's what everybody expected. But anyway, I don't know what the narrative is about the city that people just are so negative, right? But, should it be a situation where you come here and you embrace the negativity? Should players say, you know what, fuck it. We got good teams here. Everybody else, it's really us against everybody else. Why not? What do you think? Or should they, because we know the main love team around here, and they're all about good character and all that shit. We got no other thoughts on that. Should that just be the way it goes and say that we should say fuck with the national media things? What are your thoughts on that, Hector?
So, I initially said when we did our first, I think, stream when we talked about the Astros cheating scandal, that, at this point, I'm done apologizing. I don't know about anybody else. I never apologized to begin with, but I'm just tired of the Astros just trying to, show their regret for what they did. They got their rings off of it. Funny enough, Mike Fiers, who should be the one most regretful of all this, hasn't turned in his ring. So at this point, you know what? Screw it. Just be the villain. The Yankees suck at being villains as of lately. It's like they used to be the Empire from Star Wars, but now they kind of look like the villain from Kim Possible. So it's just comical at this point. The Yankees, the fact that this team has spent $2 billion and has yet to have won a World Series in almost a decade. Yeah. So in a decade, and for all that, and they still, they've been complaining, they've been playing victim this whole time. So they literally have lost all credibility as the villains. And you know what? The Astros might as well just embrace the villain role at this point. And I think the rest of the city of Houston, as a matter of fact, the Astros can't even say anything because, they got Robert Osuna on their team. And everybody hates the Astros for having Osuna as well. So, at this point, might as well screw it. Just let's be the villains. Let's be better than the Yankees by being even better villains than they ever were.
I think it should be. I think as the plan, when you embrace the bad guy role, it establishes a mentality, I believe, where it's not like you're out there just playing dirty. I don't think the bad guy role means you're a dirty player or anything like that. But, if people don't like the shit you're doing, then do more of it. Put it all in their face. If you're still winning and people are hating on the shit that you're doing, do more of what it is. And that's kind of what people hate the Rocket style of basketball. So, we hate this way, Dad. We hate James Harden's style of play. But then when you see players sit there, they talk about he's the hardest guy to guard. It's almost he's unstoppable, and then they start emulating his moves and things. And then you see people brag, oh well, such and such, He got this new move. You talking about the move James Harden's been doing for the last 3 years or something like that? He's added that to his repertoire, then it becomes a thing. Um, it's like I almost say that I want to say that there's a double standard, and I'm like, nah. It's just again, it maybe I try to be reasonable. Say it's just me, being an overly emotional sports fan. But you see little slights here, you see little slights there, and it's just like, you know what? Maybe 'cause you see players who like think about what it was when Ariza left, right? Nobody gave a shit about Ariza when he was on the Rockets. As soon as he leaves, well, that's the only reason that the Rockets were even in that position is because of Ariza's defense, and he's an all-world and it blows up. Same thing with Patrick Beverly. Like nobody gives a fuck about these guys when they're here. Patrick Beverly's annoying. He's a pest. He just tried to take out Russell Westbrook. He's a dirty player. He goes to the fucking Clippers. Now, he's a blue collar guy, hard working guy. He's just grimy. He's aggressive. And it's like how funny that these narratives change. And when you talk about the media, and we can talk about politics, but no, we don't want to talk about fuck politics. But you can look at politics and see that there are narratives being painted, and I feel the same way with big sports media because you have these four-letter networks, and they have to kind of talk about these other. They don't really have to; they don't often, but I think your biggest base is going to be like New York, L.A., place where you win. I've talked about this, and you got to appease these people. So you're going to hype up the bullshit players on these teams do, or whoever the popular, whoever the man of the flavor of the hour is. They hype it all up. It just seems like that, except for James Harden. Like the guy won one MVP, and then people start saying they had voting fatigue. Like how? How? The guy's in the conversation every year. And you give these lesser talented guys the award because you have fatigue for a guy who, if you took him off his team, I mean, let's be honest, you take Harden off the Rockets, well, we're having discussions we don't really want to talk about. We're talking about rebuilding basically, or who you're going to get in the draft or whatever else it may be, or how you're going to improve. What free agent can you hope to land? But again, like I said, it's that double standard. But the thing that changed my mind the most, and again, and I'm not super familiar with it, but you've kind of alluded to it briefly, was this thing with the Astros and the Yankees. And I know that there was a report that was put out about the Astros, and I know I saw on Twitter, everybody going in from everywhere else. And I know old buddy, what's his name, Judge, who is he to judge, deleting, I think, the Altuve MVP tweet, congratulations, all that stuff. And then all these things like, shame, what's that little way where they kind of scraping your finger thing at you, they dust their finger off at you, whatever you call it. Like, shame on you. Everybody holds one point at the Astros, we could have won if it wasn't for, this, that, or the third. And then it comes out, there's some secret letter or something like that apparently has been floating around. I guess the Yankees have an opportunity to keep it, I guess, confidential, but I don't know if it's supposed to be released or what. Like, what's going on with that? Because apparently the Yankees were doing something similar, or their own version of cheating along at the same time the Astros were. So the Astros just may have been more successful at it. Like, is that what I'm to assume? Or like, could you explain that a little bit more? What's happening with that situation?
So the letter that they're talking about is pretty much the court case that not the investigation that happened in 2017 when the Red Sox got caught with the Apple Watch scandal. So this isn't talking about the Red Sox cheating scandal from 2018. This is just talking about the Apple Watch scandal that started basically where Rob Manfred finally said, like, hey, if we start catching people electronically sign stealing, we're going to start giving more harsher punishments. And in that investigation, while they found that the Red Sox were using Apple Watches to electronically sign steal that game, they also discovered that the Yankees were also doing some form of electronic sign stealing as well. Now, the reason, for what I don't know, is they never mentioned what exactly the Yankees did, but that they were going to go ahead and also fine the Yankees for doing it as well. But they just never said what they did. And so we found out basically that the MLB has been covering up what exactly the Yankees did, and it turns out to be significantly worse than what the Astros did. And a judge that I guess there was three letters made. One was made for the Astros, obviously for their sign stealing scandal. One for the Red Sox for their sign stealing scandal, and of course one for the Yankees. And the judge basically says, like, hey, man, you got nothing to lose, man, at this point. Um, go ahead and open up the letter. And the Yankees, even though they feel that they have nothing to hide, they said they won't open the letter because it's going to hurt the reputation of the team. So that's basically where they're at right now. They're trying to make an appeal so that way the letter doesn't get open. I haven't heard anything since that from after that. But before I get even deeper with all this, I just want to do like a quick PSA to all the Astros fans of all different levels, from the casual Astros fan that only watches the Astros during the playoffs to the guy that, like myself, that watches almost every single game, um, or just to people that don't know anything about baseball but still say they like the Astros. Um, if you want to be petty right now, be petty. I mean, go and troll the Yankees, troll the players, do whatever you want. Don't send out death threats, but just troll the Yankees. Because, I mean, the Yankees were the most annoying fan base of all when it came with this scandal because of the fact that they were playing victim. They were trying to say, like, oh, they robbed us of a World Series title, all this. And so Dodgers as well, but I mean the Yankees are significantly worse because everyone hates the Yankees. Dodgers, they kind of just they want to beat the Yankees, but they never will. But it was just really irritating, and so to the point where at this point I don't care how you guys want to treat the Yankees fans. Treat them like just troll them, be petty, just make fun of them. Just honestly, that's all you got to do at that point. But this is the other thing I'm going to throw out there. Don't start playing the victim. I don't want to see anybody, I mean anybody, trying to be like, oh man, the Yankees try to throw the Astros name in the mud or try to all this stuff. No, the Astros still did something bad. Let's not try to negate that didn't happen. So I don't want to see nobody playing victim. I don't want to see anybody crying. If somebody's crying right now about, oh my God, the Astros, man, the Yankees, they were making my team look bad. Oh my God, I am honestly gonna tell you, I hate you, and please do never talk to me if I find out that you ended up doing that, because don't play the victim. The Astros are not a victim. If you want, like I said, embrace the villain, be the villain, and villains don't play victims. That's exactly why my point that the Yankees are terrible villains right now.
And I see people going over old rockets and everything down at the bottom. I apologize. I had to step out to take care of something real quick. Carl Landry got shot in Houston. That should tell you everything you need to know about Houston athletes. Houstonians, they like their athletes, but they'll go to your house, they'll pull up on your porch, and they have no problem shooting you in the middle of the street. But yeah, like I say, and to me that's the crazy thing. It's like this double standard. It appears that the MLB, and I understand it's the Yankees, and I'm sure historically everything that goes with that. Cool, me being super casual, me probably being in that uber casual / don't know what the fuck is going on. I have been watching more games as of late, and I said that this season I do intend to try to really be more, because it does get exciting. Like I said, I don't know if it's just because of the Astros and the talent that they have that their games may be more exciting than other teams or something. But the last couple of years, like I say, as I've been watching more games, it does get very interesting. But it seems like there's this double standard at the top, and if that's the case, like how can you talk about the integrity of the game if
there's no integrity in baseball at this point?
Yeah.
I think it's very clear. I think it's a league that's been proven that everyone tries to cheat.
Yes.
Going all the way back to even back to the 60s and 40s, that this is a league that everybody cheats in. I mean, obviously we hear the phrase, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. The league, we live in a world, in baseball, they just find new ways to get the edge on something. And I think that's what you're seeing right now in baseball. Obviously, we have the steroid era, which honestly, you talk about the steroid era, no one says anything negative about the steroid era. They just talk about how great it was in baseball because of guys just yakking and going yabo with those baseballs during that period. We highly regard Barry Bonds as one of the greatest baseball players of all time. I'll stand by that with full confidence that I believe that Barry Bonds is one of the greatest to ever play. We had Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. I mean, that was the era when it came to baseball, and it just happened to be thrown over with the whole steroid era thing. But we don't necessarily criticize it as much we kind of just pushed it aside. And now we have the sign stealing, the era of sign stealing. And I mean, like I said before, it's not going to shock me when you find out that there's other teams that are doing this. And kind of going back to what I said about in that LeBron James video that I did, that yes, there's going to be a documentary on this. The question isn't going to be necessarily if it's just going to be about the Astros. If it's more so, it's going to be about the cheating itself. What exactly was the whole thing about the sign stealing? Like, what did every team do something different? What was their way to get that edge? And I mean, the comical thing about the Astros is that they utilize the trash can. Yeah. So I mean, which I find funny. But apparently, from what I'm hearing with what the Yankees did, it's like involving like 3 cameras, one on center field, one on left field, one on right field. Yeah. And I mean, even Joe Girardi, when he was working with when he was working for MLB, was talking about a sign stealing system in a team that he once worked with. And obviously, the most recent team that he worked with was the Yankees. And then if you go into that MLB report on the Astros, one of the big highlights that you got from it was that in that Carlos Beltran told the Astros, "Hey man, your guy's system is outdated." And where did that guy come from? The Yankees, as well as he did play for the Texas Rangers for a brief period of time. But I'm still saying that, like, obviously he was with the Yankees and then was part of the Yankee staff at one point as well. But I mean, that's just kind of the sketchiness of all this, is that it's kind of showing you that, hey, there's been something going on in baseball for a long while. And I guarantee you that it's going to be very clear that everybody's doing it the second that Mike Fiers becomes a free agent. Because if no team signs Mike Fiers, that's because the rest of the league is doing it, and the last thing they want is to snitch on their team.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'd be very unfortunate. Snitches get stitches, or maybe in this case, stitches don't get to throw the stitches. I don't know. I made it up off the top of my head. It didn't go.
The man's pedophile, anyway.
That's disgusting. Terrible. Those are heavy accusations to levy against somebody. Oh man.
Yet Oakland A's fans say he's got integrity, so we're for pedophile. But all right.
That's terrible. Okay. Wow, that just threw my mind. And Real Talk said, don't forget about corking bats. So who was corking bats?
A lot of people did, but Sammy Sosa got caught in the middle of a game with a cork bat. Oh. But yeah, no, that was, like I said, in baseball, it's all about trying to find an edge. I mean, you've seen pitchers use pine tar to get more of a better control on their pitches. You've seen pitchers cut their baseballs. I mean, like I said, everybody's trying to find an edge and trying to find a way to get the upper hand on their opponent. So I mean, like, at this point, cheating in baseball goes hand in hand. Now, I did say with Rob Manfred, though, if he wanted to really do a good job on this, he needed to go full investigation. And I mean, while he was doing the investigation, if he found a team connected with it, then go investigate that team. Finds another team, go investigate. Like, I mean, if he really wanted to fix the integrity of baseball, he should have done this a long time ago. He should have done it during the Astros investigation and finally just get it all out. Booty Cheeks in the chat, by the way.
Yes, Booty Cheeks in the chat, yes. I forgot all about those. But
Booty Cheeks for the Yankees.
But doesn't that, but like now, so now you look at him, though, doesn't that kind of undermine, like we're talking about integrity, it kind of undermines his integrity if this is known that, like, you're playing favorites here. So it's kind of, I wonder, like, how can you trust him in another investigation? I mean, it seems kind of strange, that whole deal. So that's a real weird thing.
I mean, for Rob Manfred at this point, I mean, right now he's kind of definitely doing a terrible job with the whole trying to get an agreement with the MLBPA and the MLB owners, and then deciding that, like, at this point the MLBPA doesn't want to agree to any of the offers that he's been given, so he just said, screw it, I'm just going to start the season anyways, which is kind of funny because he should have just done this the whole time from the beginning instead of, like, asking for both teams' permission. Yeah. But no, Rob Manfred has literally done a shit-tastic job this year as commissioner of baseball. I think it's time for him to I just don't see how he can recover. I mean, he's just done a poor job after poor job. He said 100% confident that baseball was going to be there. Then the next day he was like, "Oh, I don't know if it's going to happen." So I mean, Rob Manfred is like, you know how bad you are to make Roger Goodell look like a great commissioner.
No, say less.
Like, I mean, at this point, I think I'd rather have Roger Goodell, like, during the MLB draft, like sit there in his little creepy dad chair, like during the during the MLB draft, like talking to the camera. I'd rather have that than Rob Manfred at this point. Rob Manfred is just a terrible, terrible commissioner.
Oh, that's well. I got a question for you because you mentioned some stuff and you kind of made reference to little things that guys do to get an advantage. How much more interesting would baseball be in your opinion if they just let everything fly?
Honestly, man, if they just let them play, I mean, yeah, go for it.
So I mean, if you
I think
juice baseballs or well, I mean the what do you say, the pine tar. You're talking about PEDs. You're talking about, I mean, so I mean, just if everything was a go, I mean, and ultimately, who comes out with an advantage? I mean, if guys are taking PEDs, are the hitters going to have the advantage?
I mean, if everybody's cheating at that point, it's literally an even playing field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm wondering. Okay. Houston, Texas.
No, Asmel. AJ Hinch is not coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, and see that's what I'm saying. And that's crazy. I got a question though, and I don't know if you have or haven't been paying attention to what's going on over there in the old NASCAR thing. Have you been? Are you kind of aware what happened apparently?
So apparently there was this noose in the NASCAR garage where Bubba Wallace is usually at his spot, but apparently it's always been there. So I have no idea, man. Like,
so what's more alarming? I mean, what's worse, like the fact that it's just always been there, or what I mean, like it's
just an everyday thing. It's just an everyday thing here.
Oh, you're talking about the everyday news? Oh, that's everyday. It's always there. Nobody ever takes that down. It's been there since this place was built.
We use that news for holding on things.
Yeah. That's how we slow the cars down.
That's where we hang the engine on.
Yeah. That crazy stuff. That's wild shit. But yeah, I mean, I think that whole thing is crazy. Just that whole situation is wild. We're living in wild times. I think it's extremely interesting. There's some things I want to talk about. I should actually.
Oh yeah, I gotta address one thing. So football, are you saying that AJ Hinch is coming back to the Astros, or he's coming back to the MLB? I do think he's gonna get a job in the MLB. I just don't think he's coming back to the Astros.
How do you think fans would respond as a whole if he came back to the Astros?
I mean, everybody would be all about it. The question mark is not necessarily. It's all on James Click, because James Click is now the new general manager. Like, Jeff Luhnow is not coming back. If there's anybody from that whole sign stealing scandal that definitely got blackballed, it's definitely going to be Jeff Luhnow. I just think because of the fact that he definitely knew about it. But now we got James Click. He's the new general manager, so obviously we know that Dusty Baker isn't. He isn't here for the long haul. He's just here for the meantime, just to save face. Kind of just because I mean Dusty Baker's a lovable person. I don't think you can hate Dusty Baker. So that's really what he is, man. Honestly, like he's like for the University of Miami, Coach Coker, just lovable old guy. Like no one can get mad at him. You can kind of do what you want to do with this guy as your coach. Like But Dusty Baker as a manager, he's just here to like kind of like save face because he's a very likable person. But I think depending on who James Click wants, I think James Click is gonna do his homework, see who fits to what he wants, which he is a Statcast, like he's all about the futuristic stuff of baseball. So I think that he's gonna look for a guy that's more inclined towards what he wants. AJ Hinch does fit that, but that's also saying a lot. Because obviously you're going to have to talk about Jim Crane. Is he going to be okay with that as well, bringing back a guy that technically tarnished his team's image? So, I mean, it's going to be a big call on that. But I think that we might be seeing a different manager next year. It's not going to be Dusty Baker. But, I mean, Dusty Baker was only here for one season. And, oh, my God, Asmo, please don't say head coach. You know what? Someone kick Asmel out. Kick Asmel out.
It's crazy. Head coach Hinch, terrible. So okay. So that's kind of interesting. But like I was saying earlier, we're gonna it's gonna be a little bit of a shorter stream again. And again, that's my fault. I've been saying we're gonna have everything together on time. You know, life just has its way of making sure I'm always lying. Even though I feel like I have things in order, they just don't ever work out that way. But they're trending that way. We will at least have sauce every day and make everything shake. For those that don't know, Tuesdays and Thursdays on Sauce Sports TV. And again, like the goal is to have everything 6 o'clock, and we'll get there. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the regular sauce. Is there anything that you wanted to maybe mention or anything before we didn't get a chance to touch on before we get out of here, Mr. Hector?
So, there is some things that have changed over. Obviously, baseball. They're announcing that July 1st they'll be starting a training camp to get the season going by July 26th. So we'll see what happens there. Baseball may or may not be back, but I mean, players did agree that they're willing to come report to training camp for July 1st. So it seems good. It seems positive. So there's actually been a change to the NWSL's tournament that they're going to be doing. That's actually coming up pretty soon. The Orlando team actually had to step down from the tournament because they actually had, I believe, like 5 people test positive for COVID-19. So they had to redo the schedule and just like that. So now everybody's in the tournament. So that's a plus for the Dash. But their first game will actually be June 30th against the Utah Royals, which is going to be the host team. And then July 4th against the Reign, July 8th against Sky Blue, and July 12th against Washington Spirit. And like I said, you can watch those games on CBS All Access, or you can also watch them through Twitch, I believe.
Okay. Something I want to talk about, and I think I guess it's technically related, even though we don't necessarily talk about e-gaming. Fucking Asmel, why are you timing out Rio Talk? It's going to be very interesting tomorrow's stream. But something very sad.
Man, that's a pretty douchey move right there.
Yeah. It's the roles reversed. Tomorrow, I already know what to expect. But Mixer is shutting down. For those of you who may ever join the Mixer crew, sometimes y'all know after the Den shows, I'll do the Mixer crew streaming. And I'm very saddened by the fact that Mixer will be shutting down. I think they said, July something crazy like that. So for those of y'all who do enjoy the Mixer crew, I'll start trying to punch out a couple of more of those while we can. I don't think I'll be going over to Twitch. I'm going to instantly get banned there if I talk anything like I talk on Mixer. So we got to get ready to slide. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I want to say shout out to Mr. Hector, a.k.a. Mr. Sauce Sports TV. Got a lot of content coming. I got like 2 more videos that I should have just started uploading them. I caught myself trying to just do them all and then put them up to set up. But got a lot of content coming.
What's the first video dropping?
I was thinking the Dash one because I was similar to what you were talking about. Because I know there's another Dash one coming. There's an Arrows video for those. Actually, I think by date, actually that might be the next one that I need to drop. I think I need to do the Arrows video. I gotta see, because like I said, I got them all.
That one's an interesting one. So I kind of want to see how you guys like that video before we keep doing those. Mm-hmm. But I definitely think that there is a team that we should definitely try to do similar to that one. And Honcho, I think you should do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I probably already said it in the video, probably, but I'm pretty sure we can speak of a team that's been very successful here in Houston that maybe no one talks about.
Yeah, all right. That might actually be a good idea. Yeah, we got to, like I say, just like I tell you, I'm telling you, we're working on it. And again, like I say, super shout out to Mr. Hector because he's been putting in a bunch of work. Shout out to Tenny too. Tenny got some videos coming. So, like I say, it's just me. I told you, like I said, I was relocating, getting everything. Now that I'm kind of settled in, I've got a more dedicated office than I had the last couple of months. It was a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Y'all can hear the kitchen sink and everything else happening in some of the streams. It was very odd, yes, I know. But I got a dedicated work area. The only thing that's fucking it up is Scotty. So we'll make it shake. But we got a slide. So, yeah, maybe put both of them up tomorrow. Because like I say, it's a bunch of them. And I know, as time keeps passing on, some of them may become oddly timed. So, with the rest of the week coming, they most of them should get put up this week. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in. Make sure you have the notification bell hit, and then make sure y'all tune in. Make sure you tell friends if they are fans of the other teams in Houston. And again, the short recorded content, much more of it will be coming. I will be dropping some recorded Rocket stuff as things get going. So yeah, watch the Dynamo. With that, yes, it'll be a day tonight too. So, with that being said, Chuck up Deuce, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients. Shout out to the rest of the Roundtable. We're going to get up out of here. And until Thursday, we'll catch y'all on Sauce Sports TV. Tomorrow, we'll catch you on the regular Sauce if you're a Texans fan. And yes, we'll be in the den tonight at 9, possibly 10.
What's the topic?
I don't know. I mean, I know because I got like a list of fucking topics, but I just got to pick one. Or it's actually between two of them because
Mia Khalifa.
Shit, that would be the thing, right? It actually might not be a bad idea.
She's trending on Twitter.
Yeah, you might have just had a golden idea there, Mr. Jackson. I'm tired of talking about all the other bullshit going on. We might have to talk about Mia Khalifa tonight. So shout out to
I would love to see some of these elderly ladies talk about Mia Khalifa.
Oh yeah, I got to put it up early so they can go do their research. They're gonna be like, "What the hell?" No, it's gonna be
all I can think.
I'm gonna put it in the Den Discord. I'm gonna here you go for research so y'all can know what we're talking about tonight. I'll post some reference.
Some Pornhub or some XNXXX.
Yeah, some fucking I don't know blacked videos or something. I don't know what the fuck she did. Some bitch.
Some X hamster bits.
Dude, and we'll catch y'all next time. And I appreciate y'all tuning in. Most of all, man, y'all stay saucy, and we out.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll be alright. Y'all gotta deal with it. Y'all will,
Perfect.
Mia Khalifa. What the hell is this topic?